Hey guys, Zachary from Hardware Zone. Welcome to a special episode of What Would Zach Do in Israel. Behind me you see Tel Aviv port. I just checked into my hotel room and I see Wix.com here, and I also noticed Garmin officers over there. Can you see it? Can you see it? Garmin. Woo! The reason for this video is for me to give you my opinions on these things, a whole bunch of Jabra earbuds. And that's because this one, the Jabra Elite 5, was just launched about a week ago. I think as I make this video, this actually isn't even on sale yet. You can pre-order it, but it's not available in the stores. By the time you watch this video, it probably would be, but that's not really information you need to know. But I've been playing with this for the past week or so. I've been playing with these other things for the past 2 years or so, and it sort of feels like the way Jabra is launching things these days is kind of confusing in the sense of where they fit towards each other, the specs and features they have. 2 years ago, it's about mid 2020, I reviewed this. This is the Jabra Elite Active 75T. I call them the best sport earbuds I've ever used. And you know what? 2 years later, this kind of still rings true. With the new Elite 7 series, the 7 Pro and the 7 Active have the same IP rating, IP57. So technically both of them work in the same environments just as well. There's no longer any difference. The Elite 7 Active does have that sort of rubber coating on it, but otherwise that's sort of like an external feature, whereas the 7 Pro, there's too many models to remember, the Elite 7 Pro actually has some unique features that are not found in any other Jabra headset. Between the Elite 7 series and the Elite 75, this is finally a proper successor. Everything that I loved about the 75T is now better on the Elite 7 Pro. This has better battery life, it's 8 hours per charge, up to 30 hours with the case. This has better Bluetooth. You can finally use both earbuds independently, either left or right. It no longer matters. If I were to nitpick on it, the Elite 7 Pro sounds slightly more neutral than the 75T, so the bass is slightly less pronounced, but I may have my own theories on that. We will come to that later. But yeah, supposedly better drivers, better battery, better connectivity. Lastly, this has better voice pickup. So if you're making calls, the Elite 7 Pro is a lot clearer than the rest of the Jabra series, because this has what Jabra calls a multi-sensor voice pickup. In addition to microphones, this also has a bone conduction sensor. What I don't like about the Elite 7 Pro is actually very personal. This may or may not affect you. Now, for one, the case. The Elite 7 case, I love it. This sort of, it's about the same size. It's slightly larger, but it's about the same dimensions. It's thicker on the Elite 7 Pro, but this case has a very nice sort of, lid that opens on top. You have a lot of space to hold on to it. On the Elite 7 Pro, they flipped the opening to become, instead of opening on the top, you open on the side where it's flatter, and because of that, this is now a pill shape, and you have the lid that's basically half the size of the case. So there's a lot less area for you to grip it with your hands, and I always find that it's like difficult to open. The other thing is that the Elite 7 Pro is ever so slightly smaller than the 75Ts. Now, this is a technological achievement. Like, people actually want things smaller now. It's smaller, sleeker, but because it's smaller, it no longer fits my ear as well. And once it's there, it's fine. Once it's there, it will not fall off. I'm not gonna slap myself again in this video. It works exactly the same. With The 75Ts, I slot it in immediately. I have a great passive noise isolation, and once I turn ANC on, it feels great, even though it was a software ANC that was upgraded through a firmware. And with this, it sort of feels the same. So even though this is technologically more superior, this is a newer product, I don't feel that the performance of both audio and ANC to be much better than the 75T, probably because of that fit. You can read a spec sheet on a pair of earbuds or earphones, and they may be really good and they really work well, but if it doesn't fit your ear, it's just not going to fit you. Okay, so now we come to the reason why I chose to do this video in the first place, the Elite 5. Now, remember, this was launched in about mid-2020, top of the line. This was launched in September 2021, top of the line. This launched September 2022, middle of the line, right? The Elite 5 sits between the entry-level Elite 3 and the top of the range Elite 7. Now, it's also weird because in January this year, during CES, Jabra launched the Elite 4 Active, which sits in the middle between 3 and 7, but on the active side. And then 7 months later, they launched the Elite 5, which is, yeah, so it might cause a bit of confusion for some people why there's so many different models. You know, you could always have the Elite 3, Elite 5 Active, Elite 5, Elite 7 Pro, Elite 7 Active, but now we have 4 Active and 5 and then 7. Anyway, that's just me. What's so interesting about this is because even though this is a mid-range model, because it was launched almost a year after the Elite 7 Pros, this actually has some better technology than this. Let's go through like physical features first. We've gone back to the case design that I like. So see how easy it is to open. This case design is great. The earbuds themselves technically don't really look that much different in terms of how Jabra has always designed their earbuds, except that from the top, it feels like the Elite 5 is larger than the Elite 7 Actives. It doesn't have that sort of smoothness. It is more angular, triangle-wise, whilst this has this tear-shaped design. So from the top, the Elite 7 Pro sort of feels more professional, more polished than the Elite 5s. But size, fitting-wise, the Elite 5s actually fit my ear better than the 7 Pros. Now we come to tech. This has 6mm drivers like the Elite 7 Pros. This finally has a Qualcomm processor that Jabra is advertising. Now, most of this probably has Qualcomm processor as well, but Jabra just doesn't advertise it. They don't put it on the spec sheet. This is the first headset that actually do specifically talk about it, and that is because the Elite 5 actually supports aptX codec. Now, all these, even the Elite 7 Pros, only support SBC and AAC. So if you're using an iPhone, doesn't really matter, you're on AAC anyway, but if you're using an Android phone, you only have the SBC codec. The Elite 5 supports aptX, aptX, which means that this will actually technically be the better headset if you were going to pair it with an Android phone and listen to HD audio. So there's a one up on the mid-range Elite 5 over the Elite 7s. The other thing is that this supposedly has better ANC as well. Jabra calls it hybrid ANC. This basically has feed-forward and feedback mics. So feed-forward mics are the ones that listen to your environment, outside mics. Feedback mics are inside mics that listen to what's going on in your ear. So technically that allows the ANC processor to process sounds from both outside and inside your ear to provide better noise cancellation performance. The Elite 7 Pro only has feed forward mics. It does not have feedback mics. So again, on paper, technically, the Elite 5 is better in those two respects. Now, of course, being a mid-range product, it has things that it doesn't have things that the high-end ones have. It doesn't have that Bowden conduction voice pickup unit. It also, even in software, it doesn't have Jabra My Sound, the one I talked about where you can actually customize the headsets to your specific hearing. So it's very personalized for you. The Elite 5 doesn't have My Sound. So how does that all factor into how these headphones work? Now, software and hardware needs to work together. So even though hardware seems to find that the Elite 5 is superior in certain ways to the Elite 7 Active, while actually using them, this still feels like a mainstream product. It may have better ANC, but when I was testing it out on the streets, on the plane, I always felt that the Elite 5s let more sound in than either the 75T or the Elite 7 Pros. And in terms of letting more sound in now, I'm not sure if that's something to do with the feedback mic or the way it's processed. Maybe the earbuds think that I'm supposed to be listening to those sounds. But as far as I'm concerned, if I turn on ANC, I want to block out as much things as possible. The audio on this, the bass is just not there. I mean, it's not bad, it's just, I wouldn't call it neutral, it's just a lot more subdued than what you will get on the higher end products. Having My Sound set up for both the 75T and the Elite 7 Pro actually made, I don't know if it made a big difference, but it made a difference in how sound sounded for me. This doesn't do that. You're gonna need to play around with equalizer to sort of tune this to what you like, but on its own, right out the box, this does not sound nearly as good as this too. Okay, so now we come to price, which is a major contention point, at least to me, as to how Jabra is selling all these things. Now you have to remember that the Elite 5 is just launched. In fact, when I make this video, like I said, it's not even out yet, so you can pre-order this now. This is 228 Singapore dollars. And because it's brand new, you're not going to find a lot of promos or deep discounts. The Elite 7 Pro, on the other hand, has been available for over a year, and because of that, it's constantly on discount. You can find this even on Jabra's own official stores like on Shopee for 258, which means that's just $30 difference, right? Even the 85T, which as far as Jabra's sort of product tiers go, the 85T still sits right at the top as their best audio earbud because that has the biggest drivers, that has their best ANC implementation, dedicated ANC processor, and 85T has been out for more than a year, right? And if you go again to Jabra's official stores, online stores, you can find the 85T for 228 Singapore dollars. So if you can buy their best audio earbud for 228 and you can buy their best, as far as I'm concerned, all-round earbud, audio, music, calls, sports, everything for 258, where does this sit? So what would Zach do? Well, Zach likes the Elite 7 Pro. These are at the moment the best Jabra has to offer for true wireless earbuds, but if you ask me, I would love to have all the features, the technology and the specifications of the Elite 7 Pro in the size and shell of the 75Ts, plus those two token features from the Elite 5. That's what Zach wants. Anyway, how about you? Do you have any of these Jabra earbuds that you've been using for the past year or so? What are your thoughts about them? What do you think Jabra could do better in terms of launching new products or putting features in products or pricing products even? Like, do let us know in the comments below. I'd love to see what you think. I love to hear what you think. I'd love to see what you write. That's probably better. But anyway, that's all. Starting to ramble now because I'm still jet lagged. But enjoy Tel Aviv. I'm probably gonna go out to have coffee. See you in the next video. You will find that you can find. That's great. You can find that you can find. You can find that you can find these two products to find. Hey guys, before you go, don't forget to check out hardwarezone.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Join in the conversation. Like and subscribe to our YouTube if you want to see more of these videos. Do it.